There sure is a lot of uproar over illegal immigration in the United States. Many Americans fear their jobs will be taken away, feel their country has been taken over, and, quite frankly, are perhaps a little bit racist. I am Mitch Lambert, here to once again give you my spin on things on the next episode of Lambert on the Left. There has not been a single Republican debate where immigration was not discussed. One candidate wants to build a wall and make Mexico pay for it, and then says free college is ridiculous. Most, if not all of the Republican candidates for president are completely against illegal immigration. But hold on, isn't nearly every American the descendant of an immigrant? Unless you are 100% Native American, the answer is yes. However, that is highly unlikely since the white people virtually wiped Native Americans off the face of the earth and took their land. Many of these conservatives campaigning to be president are supportive of mass deportations, which would tear families apart and ship immigrants back to whatever country they came from. That doesn't really play into their whole family values thing that they constantly preach about. The funny thing is that GOP presidential candidate Ted Cruz is an immigrant himself. The man was indisputably born in Calgary. It's about time someone asked him for his birth certificate. Only in the United States can a Cuban Canadian immigrate to America and transform into an immigrant-bashing white supremacist. Pretty crazy, eh? So why is there so much hate for illegal immigrants? As I said before, some Americans think they are taking American jobs. But do Americans actually want to do the dirty work in farms? Do they want to clean bathrooms of gas stations? How about any of the other unpleasant jobs that need to be done by someone? The answer is probably not. Undocumented immigrants frequently do these dirty jobs, and they don't complain about it either. They are extremely hardworking, do a much better job than Americans would at a faster pace, and are just grateful they have the opportunity to work and live in this country. A common myth about undocumented immigrants is that they do not pay taxes. That is just completely untrue. According to multiple sources, undocumented immigrants contribute between $90 and $140 billion a year in federal, state, and local taxes. Undocumented immigrants also pay income taxes. In fact, the Social Security Administration has something known as the suspense file, which is a slew of taxes that cannot be traced to workers' names and Social Security numbers. Between 1990 and 1998, the suspense file increased by $20 billion alone just in those 8 years. Besides, where is all the uproar when millionaires and billionaires don't pay their taxes? The nation's wealthy frequently hide their cash in offshore bank accounts to avoid paying taxes. And those same exact people are complaining about immigrants not paying taxes. So when an illegal immigrant doesn't pay taxes, that means they're criminals and should be deported. But when a billionaire does the same exact thing, they are smart businessmen. If all of the undocumented immigrants were shipped back to their home countries, our economy would take a huge hit. There would be less money being paid into taxes, millions of people would no longer be buying things in America, and the undesirable work would not be done as well as if illegal immigrants were doing it. Racism definitely has something to do with the immigration debate as well. Many anti-immigrant Americans simply don't like Mexicans or any Latinos for that matter. Now you might just say that's an assumption or a stereotype, but do you hear these anti-immigrant Americans complaining about the Europeans who fly to America and never return home? Because these Europeans are white, they do not make a big stink out of it at all. Yet this form of illegal immigration happens all the time. It's the Mexicans and Latinos who are hated by these anti-immigration Americans, and I really feel bad for them. Most undocumented immigrants are simply trying to do what my ancestors did, as well as everyone's ancestors of foreign descent. These immigrants are fleeing their native countries to start a new life in a land full of opportunity. America was founded on the belief that people could come here from all over the world in search for a better life. It's called the American Dream, and it's because of that I believe we shouldn't be turning away people who want to live here. That would be completely and utterly unfair.